The hardest battle you will ever fight is not against the world. It is not against circumstances. It is not against other people.
The hardest battle is the one happening inside you. Every single day, there is a war within. A war between who you are and who you could become. A war between discipline and comfort. A war between fear and courage. A war between excuses and responsibility. And whether you realize it or not, that war is shaping your life. Most people lose this battle quietly, not because they are weak, but because they underestimate the enemy. The enemy is not outside. It's the voice in your head that tells you to delay. The voice that whispers comfort when effort is required. The voice that justifies quitting when things get hard. That voice sounds like you, and that's what makes it dangerous, because you trust it. It knows your fears. It knows your insecurities. It knows exactly when you're tired, overwhelmed, or doubting yourself. And it waits. It waits for moments of weakness, moments of stress, moments when discipline feels heavy, then it speaks. Not today. You've done enough. You deserve rest. It won't matter if you skip this once. And once becomes often. Often becomes habit. Habit becomes identity. That's how the war is lost. Not in one dramatic moment, but through small surrenders. You don't wake up one day defeated. You drift into defeat by negotiating with yourself too often. This is the war within. And the truth is, you cannot avoid it. You can ignore it. You can distract yourself. You can numb it with entertainment, noise, and comfort. But it doesn't disappear. It waits. And every time you choose comfort over discipline, it grows stronger.
Every time you choose avoidance over effort, it gains ground. Every time you break a promise to yourself, it wins a small battle.
But here's the part no one tells you. You don't need to win every battle to win the war. You need consistency.
Because the war within is not about perfection. It's about direction. Are your choices moving you forward or holding you back? Most people are not failing because they lack talent. They're failing because they lack control. Control over impulses.
Control over emotions. Control over habits. And self-control is built through resistance. Every time you resist the easy choice, you strengthen yourself. Every time you do what's hard instead of what's comfortable, you gain ground. Discipline is not punishment. It's protection. It protects your future from your present impulses. Because your present self wants comfort, your future self wants respect, and those two are often in conflict. The present wants relief. The future wants growth. The present wants shortcuts. The future wants standards. The war within is deciding which voice you obey.
This is why motivation alone is not enough. Motivation is emotional. It comes and goes. Discipline is strategic. It stays when motivation leaves. And when motivation disappears, and it will, discipline becomes the deciding factor. Discipline is not about intensity. It's about structure. Structure removes decision making. It removes negotiation. It removes excuses. When your actions are decided in advance, emotions lose power. That's how you win. Not by overpowering emotions, but by outlasting them. Emotions are temporary. Standards are permanent. The strongest people are not the most aggressive. They are the most consistent. Consistency wins wars. Think about it. A single burst of effort doesn't change a life. A single day of discipline doesn't build character. But repeated effort compounds. Compounding is quiet, it's slow, it's invisible at first, and that's why most people quit before it works. They expect transformation too quickly. They expect confidence before competence. They expect results before repetition. But repetition is the battlefield, day after day, choice after choice. Do you show up or do you avoid?
Do you act or do you delay? Do you push forward or do you retreat? There is no neutral. Every choice is a vote.
And over time, those votes decide who you become. This war within is exhausting because it never fully ends. New levels bring new battles. New responsibilities bring new pressure. New goals bring new resistance. But that's not a problem. That's proof you're alive, that you're growing, that you're expanding beyond your old limits. The goal is not to silence the inner conflict. The goal is to lead it, to recognize the voice of fear and act anyway. To feel doubt and keep moving, to experience resistance and refuse to retreat. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move despite it. And courage is built, not found, built through exposure, built through repetition, built through surviving moments you once thought you couldn't handle. Every time you face discomfort without quitting, you rewire your mind.
You teach yourself, I can handle this. That belief changes everything. Because once you trust yourself under pressure, fear loses control. Fear thrives on uncertainty. Confidence thrives on proof. And proof is created by action. Action when it's uncomfortable. Action when it's inconvenient. Action when no one is watching. The war within is won in private, in moments no one applauds, in decisions no one sees, in standards no one enforces. That's where character is built. Character is what remains when motivation is gone. And character determines destiny. You can have talent without discipline and still fail. You can have intelligence without control and still struggle. You can have opportunity without consistency and still waste it. But discipline multiplies everything. It multiplies talent. It multiplies effort. It multiplies time. Time without discipline disappears. Time with discipline compounds. That's why disciplined people seem lucky. They're not lucky. They're consistent. They show up when others don't. They continue when others quit. They endure when others escape. And endurance is a weapon. Most people are not beaten, they surrender. They stop too soon. They give up too early. They walk away before progress becomes visible. Progress is always invisible before it's obvious. That's the test. Can you keep going without evidence? Can you stay committed without confirmation? Can you fight the war within without external validation? Because validation is addictive. Likes, praise, recognition. They feel good, but they weaken discipline if you depend on them. True strength is internal. It doesn't require an audience. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't wait for approval. It moves forward regardless. And that kind of strength is rare because it requires honesty. Honesty about your effort. Honesty about your excuses. Honesty about your priorities. Most people lie to themselves. They say they want change, but they protect comfort. They say they want growth, but they avoid pressure. They say they want success, but they reject sacrifice. The war within exposes these contradictions. It forces alignment. Either your actions match your words, or they don't. And alignment is powerful. When your goals and behaviors match, progress accelerates. When they conflict, frustration grows. This is why clarity matters. You must know what you're fighting for. Because when the battle gets hard, and it will, purpose keeps you in the fight. Without purpose, discipline feels pointless. With purpose, discipline feels meaningful. Purpose turns pain into progress. Pain without meaning breaks people. Pain with meaning builds them. Every challenge you face can either refine you or defeat you. The difference is how you interpret it. Victim mindset asks, why is this happening to me? Warrior mindset asks, what is this teaching me? Lessons create leverage.
Leverage turns setbacks into strength. Every struggle contains instruction. Every failure carries feedback. Every obstacle demands adaptation. The war within is also a teacher. It reveals weaknesses so you can strengthen them. It exposes habits so you can replace them. It highlights limits so you can expand them. Avoiding the war delays growth. Facing it accelerates it. And the longer you fight with intention, the stronger you become, not emotionally, mentally. Mental strength is calm under pressure, focus under chaos, control under temptation. It's not loud. It's steady. It doesn't rush. It doesn't panic. It doesn't collapse under stress. That stability is built through repetition. Pressure reveals preparation. When life applies pressure, habits take over, not intentions, not motivation. Habits, that's why preparation matters. You don't rise in crisis. You fall to your level of training. And training happens daily in how you wake up, in how you respond to stress, in how you handle setbacks, in how you speak to yourself. Self-talk is a battlefield. What you say internally shapes how you act externally. If you speak weakness, you reinforce it. If you speak strength, you activate it. Words matter, especially the ones no one hears. Replace "I can't" with "I will figure it out." Replace "this is too hard" with "this is training." Replace "I'm not ready" with "I'm becoming ready." Language shapes identity, and identity shapes behavior. When you see yourself as disciplined, you act disciplined. When you see yourself as resilient, you endure. When you see yourself as capable, you attempt. Identity is not fixed. It's built. Built through evidence, built through action, built through winning small battles consistently. You don't need to conquer everything today. You need to win today. One workout, one focused hour, one disciplined decision. Small wins stack. Momentum is built through motion. Waiting for confidence delays action. Action creates confidence. That's the paradox. The war within tries to convince you to wait, to prepare more, to think more, but thinking without acting feeds fear. Action interrupts fear. Even imperfect action weakens the enemy. Because fear thrives on delay. Delay gives it time to grow. Action shrinks it. Every step forward reduces uncertainty. Every effort increases clarity. Clarity builds confidence. Confidence fuels momentum. Momentum wins wars. And as momentum builds, something changes. The voice of resistance gets quieter. The voice of discipline gets stronger. The gap between intention and action narrows. You start acting automatically. That's mastery, not emotional highs. Not dramatic breakthroughs, but calm execution. Doing what needs to be done without internal conflict. That's when the war within shifts. It doesn't disappear, but you control it. You recognize resistance without obeying it. You feel discomfort without avoiding it. You experience doubt without surrendering to it. That control is freedom. Freedom from impulse, freedom from fear, freedom from inconsistency, and freedom is earned. Earned through effort, earned through endurance, earned through honesty. The war within does not end when you succeed. It evolves. Success brings new temptations. Comfort becomes the new enemy. Complacency becomes the new threat. That's why humility matters. Never assume the war is over. Never assume discipline is permanent. Never assume strength cannot fade. Maintenance is part of mastery. You must protect what you build. Protect your routines. Protect your standards. Protect your focus, because what got you here won't keep you here if you abandon it. Growth requires renewal. Renewal requires awareness. Awareness of slipping standards. Awareness of creeping comfort. Awareness of rationalized excuses. Stay alert. The war within rewards vigilance. And remember this: you don't need to be fearless. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be exceptional. You need to be consistent. Consistency wins. It outlasts doubt. It outperforms talent.
It defeats resistance. So when the voice inside tells you to quit, don't argue, act. When it tells you to delay, move. When it tells you you're not enough, prove it wrong with action. Because action is the ultimate authority, and every action is a strike in the war within. Some days you'll feel strong, some days you won't, but strength is not a feeling. It's a habit built in silence, forged under pressure, maintained through discipline. The war within is not meant to destroy you. It's meant to shape you, to refine you, to harden you, to reveal what you're capable of. So fight it, not with emotion, not with anger, but with consistency. Because the person who wins the war within controls their life. And that is the greatest victory of all.